Hi, this is Kelly Wright at the Money Show in Orlando. Joining me today, CEO, co-founder of GroundFloor, Mr. Brian Dally. So, Brian, you guys are doing something that no one else is doing in the real estate market. Right. And, you know, look, I'm a money manager, and I have never, ever heard of anybody doing anything remotely like what you guys are doing.
Yes.
It's pretty wild. So, accredited investors means what?
You're an accredited investor if you make over $200,000 a year as a single person, or $300,000 as a couple, or you have $1 million liquid, not including your residence, of investable assets. And that is a definition that is established by the Securities and Exchange Commission, and it's a federal standard.
So accredited investors often get access to things that the general public never sees.
They do.
Okay.
They do because under securities law, there are a great number of private offerings in these private capital markets that, you know, in order to offer something to the public, like when a stock IPOs, you have to do a lot of legal work and a lot of accounting work. It's very expensive. There's a lot of compliance. Now, we've gone through all of that with our product, and that's very unusual. We've qualified our product under Regulation A. The SEC has qualified it. We file audited financials, much like a public company would.
Okay.
And we've done all of this to open up this category to non-accredited investors, the 97% of us who don't meet that definition.
So that was my point. That's what I wanted to get to. So you don't have to be living in Mar-a-Lago or someplace else.
Correct.
But you can have access to the same type of a product that normally you'd have to go to private equity or that was only available to accredited investors.
Actually, it's a little worse than that, to be honest, for people, because the world, the way it's set up, if you can get access to this asset class at all, it's only through a guy or a fund that's going to charge you for the privilege. They're going to tie up your funds. And if you've
they're illiquid.
If you've been in a non-traded REIT before, and there are a lot of these being offered on the internet right now. There's several, and I invest in some of them. But you have to be careful, because read the fine print, because they'll tell you when the market starts to turn or their fund starts to turn, they will not let you redeem.
Oh yeah, liquidity dries up like that.
So back to our stock market analogy that we were talking about earlier. If I told you could invest in the stock market, but you couldn't invest in individual shares, you'd look at me like I had two heads. You'd say, what do you mean I have to invest in this fund? What do you mean I have to invest in this vehicle over here? I want to buy Facebook. I want to buy Google. Well, it's a little worse than that, because not only do we tell people in private markets, the 95-96% of us who are not accredited, that they can't participate in that directly. We also tell them you have to do it in this fund that's going to lock up your money, and you have no control, you have no choice. People have to sacrifice their agency, and that's not the world we're living in, man. That's not it. And even if you're an accredited investor, these funds are not regulated. Typically, these private investments aren't regulated in the same way that we are. So accredited investors like what we do too, because we're like a public company.
All right, so is it groundfloor.com?
Groundfloor.com.
Folks, I've been around longer than I want to admit. This is some really killer, cutting-edge stuff. You should go to their groundfloor.com and check this out. This is really, really, really neat.
The banks won't like it, but you will.
And and for that reason alone, you should go check this out. All right, this is Kelly Wright at the Money Show with Mr. Brian Dally. Thanks for joining us.